Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well and studying well as well. My name is Monish Bhawale. So in this session, we will be talking about public administration. Public administration in a way that we will talking about how you can enrich your answers in public administration. So we will be linking the current affairs, the topical issues of the past week, and we will try to remove the public administration dimensions. So in a way, we will be linking the current affairs with the thinkers, the various concepts and theories of public administration. Now, why are we doing this? See, the importance of linking current affairs and interlinkages of paper 1 with paper 2 and vice versa cannot be overstated. To score well in public administration, one should give illustrations. That is, current affairs, you open up the public administration dimension. Otherwise, you may end up writing GS2 in public administration and not giving illustration in paper 1. See, this year's paper was quite simple, paper 1 specifically, but people were not able to score well. And one of the lacunas we found, other than understanding the question, opening up dimensions, was absence of illustrations and linking current affairs in public administration. And in paper 2, though people scored well, but there is more scope for improvement. There are two aspects of linking topical issues in your answers was feel wanting when we interacted with the aspirants who didn't score that well in public administration. So problem lies here, not with the optional. Yes, most abused optional, but the people don't look into these aspects as well. To score well in public administration, you should not be writing GS, you should be writing public administration. So in this series, we will be discussing all these current issues from public administration perspective. It will be a weekly videos. Every week we'll analyze and we will discuss all this. And also we will make the handouts available on our social media channels, all the Telegram, even the website. So you can refer to that also for revision, etc. So today's session we'll be discussing this. So we will structure this session in such a way that first I will list down the topics for discussion, and we will discuss the topics in brief from the current affairs perspective. But we will go then move towards exploring each topic from the perspective of public administration. Then we will connect with the thinkers, various chapters, various concepts, and how even in paper 2 also that way. Okay. So let's move towards the discussion. So we have identified 7 topics for this week. So the 7 topics are, which were in news, of course. First is the CAPF versus IPS. Second, 1 year of BNS, Bharatiya Sanhita. Then we'll talk about the, we'll go to Tamil Nadu Sivaganga district. Why we are going there? Custodial death, torture by the police. Then we will go to Karnataka. Where the Chief Minister of Karnataka attempt to slap a public servant. CM slapping public servant. Then we will discuss some federal issues, implication of federal issues, the GST. Then we will discuss the 3-language formula. In a way, not discuss 3-language formula, but try to remove the public administration dimensions. 3-language formula. Or for that matter, the new education policy. And lastly, we will discuss the Telangana model of development. So these 7 issues we have identified from a public administration perspective, nationally, even on the face value. These are obviously important for paper 2. Direct questions have come on these issues, specifically GST. In GST also, you go and remove the past year papers, you can find in public administration paper 2 question on GST as well. On BNS, already in ethics paper they asked BNS. Now it's just matter of time in public administration, and even in GS paper 2 BNS can come. Okay, not further discussing, let's move on to the first topic of discussion, that is the CAPF versus IPS. Okay, so brief story, what is this issue all about? See, till now, all the top position in the Central Armed Police Forces, like the DGP of the Central Armed Police Forces, have been people from the IPS. So, hope you know what is Central Armed Police Forces, the paramilitary forces, which also specifically finds a mention in our syllabus chapter of Law and Order. So, paramilitary forces like Assam Rifles, CISF, CRPF, etc. These are the Central Armed Police Forces. So there is one head of it. Every organization has a head. So their head is the Director General of CISF, Director General, and so on and so forth. So the grievance of the CAPF people was that we are not getting appointed to that position. The outsiders, in this case the IPS, are coming, and they are becoming the DGP. All the top positions till now across all CAPF organizations were manned by the IPS. And also, if we go down the hierarchy, ADG, DIG, there is also substantial appointments of the IPS officers to this position. So this was the grievance. So they went to the Supreme Court. First they went to the Supreme Court in the 2019, and Supreme Court gave a judgment, said that that we can now, the CAPF is an organized group A service. So this judgment was given in 2019. CAPF is an organized group A service. Okay, organized group A, like how group A services are, for example, IAS, IPS, IRS are called organized group A service. So now CAPF is also organized group A service. Yes, IAS, IPS is also all India services, but they are also group A services. So CAPF is now organized group A. This judgment was given by Supreme Court in 2019. So the cadre felt now obviously we will be appointed at the top position at the DG and not IPS, that is from outside the organization. But this did not happen. Center continued to appoint the IPS as at the top positions of the paramilitary forces. Then they went again to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court in this year, in the month of May, gave a judgment that the center should progressively start reducing the appointment of IPS in CAPF over the period of 2 years. So this judgment was given by the Supreme Court. Center should start progressively reducing the appointment of IPS in the CAPF forces. But what happened? Did center continue? See this news. IPS appointment in CAPF continues despite Supreme Court's order against the move. July 4, 2025. So still appointment is continuing. Now this was the story. Now let's look from the public administration perspective. Okay. So CAPF versus IPS. Now already this is this is connected to the Law and Order chapter. Now we will connect with paper 1. See why CAPF needs to be appointed at the DG position or at the top position. Many thinkers you can link. First, naturally growth, promotion, etc. is needed. Promotion keeps the person motivated. Now, let's first then now connect with the motivation thinkers, motivation theories. Okay, promotion is one of the motivating factors in organization to keep them productive and efficient, to achieve the 3 E's of public administration as outlined by Woodrow Wilson: economy, efficiency, effectiveness. So now let's connect first with Maslow. Maslow gave that hierarchy. Okay, let's draw the hierarchy. Set of needs are arranged in the hierarchy: physiological, security, social, self-esteem, and self-actualization. They are not getting appointed here. Which need is not getting satisfied? Security, physiological, social, or self-esteem? Self-esteem is not getting satisfied. So motivation will come down. Self-esteem means what? Power, achievement, recognition. Where they are getting power, neither they are getting achievement. Top position always IPS, no CAPF. Recognition is also not there. They are not treated as a grade A service in real sense. They are considered as lower to the IPS. IPS comes at DG level. So self-esteem need is not satisfied. This is one you can relate with. Then even you can relate with the next motivation thinker, Herzberg. Herzberg two-factor theory. What are the two factors? Hygiene, CAPF versus IPS. So two factors of motivation: hygiene and motivating factors. So where you will put those? In hygiene factors or motivating factors of motivation? Herzberg. Not getting promotion at the top position. Then yes, of course, not hygiene. Motivating factors are absent. Hygiene factors are external, preventive, not curative, like your position, like pay, salary, environment. Okay. So motivating factors, no self-growth. Then there will be what? No satisfaction, absence of satisfaction. No satisfaction in the armed forces, central armed police forces. No satisfaction. Then absence of job enrichment. Job becomes enlarged. Job enlargement happens, not job enrichment in the paramilitary forces. Because of that, there won't be no growth, no achievement, no recognition. Work itself won't be a motivating factor. So this way, it hampers the morale and motivation of the CSF personals. Okay. Now another you can also relate with Clayton Adelpher, the ERG theory, which the UPSC asked in the recent times. Existence, ratedness and growth theory. Here also you can relate this non-appointment of CAPF with growth, hampering growth and affecting the motivation. Now if you want to go even further linkages, then you can even link with the process school of motivation, Victor Vroom's valency, instrumentality and expectancy theory. But there you can also justify how this may not necessarily be the motivating factor. That is appointment of the paramilitary forces at top positions. We'll come to this in the after the end of this topic discussion. Also, you can relate with the equity theory, absence of equity in the organization, in the entire government of India organization. There is no equity. We are not getting appointment. Stacey Adams, equity theory of motivation, process school of motivation. Then all the motivation we have linked. Now let's link to the administrative thinkers. Which thinker talked about this? Incentives, etc. Yes, Taylor talked about incentives, but only economic incentives. You connect this with Barnard, Chester Barnard. How you can connect with Barnard? Chester Barnard, CAPF versus IPS. Chester Barnard talks about 4 types of inducement and 4 types of incentives. So you can connect with one of the inducement. See, 4 types of inducement he talks about. First is material inducement, second is personal non-material inducement, third is the working environment, fourth is ideal benefaction. So this is that inducement which should be promoted in an organization to achieve dynamic efficiency. This is what Barnard said. What is this ideal benefaction? He talks about loyalty to the organization, recognition. So when this inducement is not satisfied of the CAPF, no appointment at the top position. There is absence of ideal benefaction, one of the inducements talked by Barnard, which should be present in an organization. Though people may not remain loyal to the organization, already many people resign joining the CAPF. You check the government data. So there is no loyalty to the organizations, there is no growth, there is no recognition also. So many paramilitary forces also die in the operation in the field, but no one of them gets appointed at top level. So absence of Chester Barnard's ideal benefaction. And also, as we talked about, there is absence of equity. So you can connect with one of the 14 principles of Henry Fayol. One of the 14 principles of Henry Fayol is equity. Should be justice in the organization, and of course the theory of justice. So this way, one issue, yes, the process school is remaining. I will come to this. This way, one issue you can connect with so many thinkers. So, but in question, if it comes in paper 1, connect with 1 or 2 thinkers only. Don't write only these thinkers. But question comes on any of these thinkers, any of these theories, then relevance you can show, showing this issue, talking about the CAPF and IPS issue. So in that way, you can connect paper 1 with paper 2 and paper 2 with paper 1 and even the current affairs. One example, many applications. Not it should not be a. This is the right way to think, not the that way that you get hundreds of examples. You try to connect with number of theories. That will create confusion in your mind, and you may not even able to recall which example to write while writing the paper. So one example, many thinkers, and vice versa. You connect with the theories when a question comes in paper 1, and you show this relevance about inducement, etc. You can talk about this. Also, you can also relate with the human relation theory, of Elton Mayo. How you can connect this? See, one of the Hawthorne experiments, the relay assembly test room, found the linkages between what? Morale, style of supervision, and productivity. Morale comes down of CAPF. Style of supervision is strict, like no appointment, kind of Taylorism. Then productivity of that organization will gradually come down. So this way you can justify why CAPF should be appointed in IPS. Now let's look at the other side, why IPS appointment should continue, and of course from public administration perspective as well. This is the CAPF side. Now let's look into the IPS side. Now, see, IPS, their perspective is that, see, the CAPF people who were qualified as assistant commandant, etc., they already had a chance to get into the IPS. No one had stopped them. You choose that services, then why we should be punished? Even after selection, you can give this examination UPSC. Eligibility is a bit higher age-wise, I feel, for the CSE as compared to the paramilitary forces. No one stopped you from giving this examination. And also, the IPS says that we man the law and order throughout the country. So we have a more broader picture, broader view of law and order. So even the top positions, even if say DG of say CRPF may need a lot of experience, or DG of NSG, etc. So this all experience, IPS have a very broader experience working in different parts of the states. And further, they say that what about our parity with IS? IS is also all India. We are also all India. IS has many avenues for central deputation, be it in the various secretaries, assistant secretary, etc. in various ministries. But IPS as a service has few avenues for central deputation. These all forces and some other institution like the CBI, etc. But very few. So why then there also motivation morale will come down. Many people give IPS as first preferences. They have an aspiration to be part of the paramilitary forces. So people may not come to IPS. Also, they say that IPS vacancies are increased every year. Now have been increased. Before they were 150, now more or less 200 comes every year. So you can give this examination. So that is their perspective, and also you can relate with the generalist versus specialist debate. So this way, that's this side also you can say, and that way you can connect with the motivation thinkers as we connected from the CAPF perspective. So when question comes from this perspective, IPS justify IPS appointment in CAPF or government stand, then you write this way and connect with motivation thinkers. Now, we were talking about the process school of motivation thinkers. So how we can negate this CAPF also? CAPF stand through this thinker and justify IPS appointment. See, Victor Vroom's valency, instrumentality and expectancy theory. He talks about there is interlinkages. There is no motivation depends on individual satisfaction and individual rewards. So I will just draw down that. So he gives the relationship between effort, performance, reward, satisfaction, So this is how he talks about motivation. You put effort, it will depend upon their expectancy, what you perceivedness of that effort, whether you have skills, etc. Then to result in performance. One performance will be instrumental to other performance in achieving reward. That reward will ensure satisfaction, and valency will be valued reward, kind of feedback to efforts. So what you can justify, how you can justify the IPS move? The IPS stand. See, already we discussed that you had already an opportunity to get into the IPS services. So you had put effort, maybe you attempted, you didn't clear. So already you effort you have, and then you put effort in the paramilitary exam. You performed well in that, you got selected as paramilitary personnel. So reward is there, and maybe many people would be satisfied also. At least I have got selected in the paramilitary forces. So there may be individualized satisfaction for some. That we individualize satisfaction, and we are happy with it. So we are part of the organization. Whatever hierarchy we can climb, we'll climb. So that is individualized satisfaction. One set of paramilitary forces will be those. Be satisfied. We are satisfied with whatever we want. So this is how the Victor Vroom talks about individualized satisfaction. So we are satisfied with whatever we want. So that's why it's in a way justice also. If you look at it that way, equity is there. You have had a chance to clear the IPS examination, but unfortunately, or you didn't want to give, then you didn't clear. Then you joined this, and there is individualized reward. You are in the paramilitary forces. So that way, it is connect what mold your content, your style of thinking according to the question. So this way you can connect the CAPF with IPS versus IPS issue with number of thinkers, and it is specifically also mentioned in a syllabus. That is, the paramilitary forces component is mentioned in the law and order chapter of paper 2. So this way you connect this issue. Now let's move to the second issue of discussion. That is the Bharatiya Sanhita. So why we are discussing BNS, apart from already been asked in ethics paper, just it's a matter of time in GS2 or in public administration, this is going to come, because this is a very massive reform in the criminal justice system and getting rid of the British legacy. Okay, so we are discussing because 1 year anniversary of BNS was there, and our Home Minister Amit Shah made a statement that BNS is the most radical reform since independence till now. BNS transformed the criminal justice system, made the criminal justice system more citizen-centric, transparent, and time-bound. This is what the Home Minister Amit Shah talked about BNS. Of course, BNS, the 3 laws were replaced, the IPC by Bharat Nyaya Sanhita, the CRPC by Bharat Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and Indian Evidence Act by what? Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. Okay, so this was the radical transformation, and it also integrated various branches of the criminal justice system, judiciary, prosecution, etc. So now this is those aspects how you can connect with public administration. First, British legacy, getting rid of the British legacy. See, this component British legacy is specifically mentioned in your syllabus. First chapter, evolution of Indian administration, there is a component of British legacy. This is one aspect. Other things we can also connect with e-governance. E-governance, the techniques chapter of public administration paper 1. Now, what e-governance aspect it has? Let's discuss now. E-governance in BNS. Yes, before we discuss this, the Home Minister Amit Shah also made a statement that before BNS, people used to think, should I register a FIR? Will my FIR get registered? Now people say, I will register FIR and I will get timely justice. This is Amit Shah, Home Minister Amit Shah's statement, that now people are more positive, that they are belief in the criminal justice system, that there is justice will be that will be timely, citizen-centric and transparent. So this is what BNS, and let's dwell into the aspects of e-governance. Also, like the Home Minister said, 14 lakh police personnel have been trained till now for BNS. Now, see e-governance. Now there is a CCTNS system, crime criminal tracking network system. It's a kind of a database of all the police stations are connected with CCTNS. Whatever FIR etc. reports you type, all get recorded here, and it's a national database. This is one. This was conceptualized after the 26/11 attack. Now it's fully operational. So now, see, when you register a zero FIR now. Zero FIR, you know, zero FIR. That particular police station has no jurisdiction over it, but if some incident happened with you, the police station is nearby, but unfortunately that police station jurisdiction doesn't come under the incident happened. So you go to that police station, even if jurisdiction is not there, they will register a zero FIR and transfer that FIR to the requisite police station. Before there was paperwork, the police personnel have to run from one police to other station. Now digital e-governance, BNS, directly here and directly to the requisite police station. Also, the BNS has an e-Saksha app. E-Saksha app. So the police personnel, whenever incident happens, to do Panchnama or to investigation, the investigating officer will go to that place, whatever happened. Suppose an unfortunately a murder happened, then he will record take the photo etc. in their phone itself, and it will directly go to the CCTNS with timestamp etc. So there is no evidence tampering, and also the investigating officer will have to take a selfie, so that there is fixing of accountability also. Who is the investigation officer? Any future follow-up also, the investigating officer has to take a selfie and upload in the e-Saksha app, which will go to the CCTNS. It will be further integrated with the other branches of the criminal justice system, judiciary, etc. So before, what used to happen, even if the investigating officer was there, they used to visit now and then to the crime scene. So they used to depute their subordinates to go. So, but now selfie has to taken. So it follows one of the classical principles of Henry Fayol again. Authority and responsibility should go together. So classical thinkers, Fayol you can link here. Not only governance but Fayol also. Okay. This is one aspect. E-governance is one, and also, what is this CCTNS? A big database of all the crimes happening in our country. So what is this? This also promotes the utilization of Management Information System, MIS. MIS is also mentioned in your syllabus. Techniques chapter, there is one component, MIS. So this can also be that example of that. So question comes on MIS, you can give this example. Or questions comes on CCTNS in paper 2, then you can relate with MIS. Now further linkages, what you can link this with? Such a huge database, facts are there. So it will promote evidence-based policy making. So you can connect with rational model of policy making, evidence-based policy making, rational model. Public policy. So rational model of public policy, one of it's also mentioned in your syllabus, public policy chapter. So this also you can relate with. Now let's move further. Rational model, etc. Now let's connect with the discipline of public administration. See, so much data will be gathered over the years, etc. The data will be analyzed. Some common model can be found out. Some common model you will find. Once a common model is found out, then you can identify certain pattern. You can identify certain concepts. You can identify certain models. Then, if possible, there can be a theory on police administration as well, which the public administration as a discipline is lacking. Such CCTNS models of India, then outside world, developed countries, developing countries, then they can analyze all this, build a model and possibly a theory of police administration in public administration. So that way you can connect with the discipline aspects of public administration as well. This is very long time it will take. We all know Riggs took how many 30, 20, 30 years to build a theory, and in the end we rejected. So 30, 40, 50 years, and the whole police administration have come together of all over the world. Then some theory we can expect, hopefully not rejected. Okay, so this way you can relate this BNS with e-governance, MIS, rational policy making model, and also the discipline of public administration as well. Okay, so now we were discussing BNS, how we were talking that we have got rid of the British legacy, etc. Now let's move further to the next topic, and how we will see how the British legacy still persists and why administrative reforms doesn't see the light or doesn't see what has been intended by the policymakers. Now let's go to Tamil Nadu. See this. See this. This is Sivaganga in Tamil Nadu, where custodial death happened. Unfortunately, let's see what is the title of this custodial death, where police run kangaroo courts. And here we were talking about reforms, BNS, how it transformed the criminal justice system, how our Home Minister Amit Shah ji made a statement that register FIR, I'll get justice. Biggest reform since independence. Here, continuation of the British legacy. A brief story about this incident. There is a temple in Tamil Sivaganga, so devotees went there. They asked a watchman to park their car. They had their gold bangles, necklaces, etc. Then they took the car, went home, and then they accused the watchman of stealing the gold. They went to the police station apprehended him, but police were most likely following British legacy instead of following the criminal justice system. They beat him red, blue, black, everything. Unfortunately, the poor person died. Even if he stole something, there are courts to punish. You are not the court. And the post-mortem report had a lot of horrific details. People said that there were traces of chili powder on that watchman's face, on his genitals, and even his rectum. There were 44 external injuries on the body of that watchman and several internal injuries. See the brutality of the police. See, that's why Supreme Court long time back had rightly said we have a jungly force. Police is a jungly force. And Prakash Singh also, the Prakash Singh case, former DGP said, what we have is a ruler's police. What we need is a people's police. See this brutality on that poor person. Several of crores of rupees are stolen from our bank, and loans are converted for personal leisure. And here for few thousand, few lakh, and see this brutality. And those people go scot-free, stay in there outside the country, and for few thousand, few lakh, even if he had stolen. This was the story about it. So now let's connect with public administration. So Tamil Nadu. Case of custodial death. So yes, firstly, continuation of British legacy. Obviously, it's mentioned in the syllabus. Failure of administrative reforms. So administrative reforms has three aspects: structure, process, and behavior. structure you changed the laws, process also you changed, you initiated e-governance. What about behavior? No attitudinal and behavior change. Still they following British legacy. Your country is modern, developed, digital, and your police are British police, jungly force. So now what further? We will also link with the thinkers of public administration. Now, why this? First, we'll analyze, look into how we can connect with the thinkers. Why this happened? Why the reforms did not take place? Why at the down it did not reach? So we'll connect with the three thinkers. We'll connect with Likert, McGregor, and Chris Argyris, the participative management school of thinkers. We can connect. How we can connect? Participative school of management. So Likert will connect with, then we'll connect with McGregor and also Argyris, Chris Argyris. See, let's analyze the reform process. See, Amit Shah ji, suppose Likert, what is Likert's linking pin model? Linking pin model. Hope you know Likert's linking pin model. See, Likert says there is a linking pin model. He talks about that it is drawing triangles around triangles. Okay. So this is Likert's linking pin model. Here Amit Shah ji sits here, HM, top of the linking pin model. So linking pin model, hope you know that the members of the lower group are the part of the upper group, and further and the lower group people influence, and this top people also influence. So HM top. So here suppose the DG of every state is a member of a triangle where HM is at the top. Then go down, here other police personnel are the members of a group where the DGP of the state is at the top. Amit Shah ji, part of the top of the triangle, had said that BNS has transformed, then this should come here, this should come here, and this should come here and reach the bottom hierarchy. Now for this to happen, what should be there? There should be the presence of what? Interactive influence system, which Likert said. Interactive influence system. What is interactive influence system? We'll talk in brief. That basically the member of the top person of a particular group should be interacting with the members of the other groups, and the members of the same group. So suppose here is the SP of that said district, and the members are the other hierarchy. He should interact with them, he should influence them positive way, and they should also be allowed to participate. Then they will get influence. This is what is interactive influence system. So SP may not be interacting with the subordinates. That so changes are there in our police, reforms have happened, or they may be interacting. It will be one-way communication. They are not able to interact, so they are not able to influence. So there is absence of interactive influence system. So that's why they are more influenced by the British legacy. From so many years this is happening, it will continue to happen. But Amit Shah ji is influencing the people to modern democratic values, Bharatiya Sanhita. So no interactive influence system. So this also brings to light the relevance of interactive influence system for sustaining reforms. That way also you can write, and vice versa. So this is how you can link this with interactive influence system. Now let's connect with McGregor, Douglas McGregor. Hope you remember. McGregor gives a model of, yes, theory X, theory Y, etc. he gives. He also talks about transactional influence model. Now this influence model can be used to sustain administrative reforms. So there is a decimation of the British legacy, and BNS is implemented in the right spirit. So this is transactional influence. What McGregor says that the the manager will not wield authority traditional sense, but he will influence the people of the organization by way of mutual support and trust. On trust basis and mutual support, authority will be followed or accepted. So mutual support plus trust, mutual support and trust, then only authority will be accepted. This will happen when mutual support and trust will be there in the organization. Suppose the IPS of the SP of that said district is a manager, he should ensure it's he. So mutual support and trust among the subordinates when there is integration of organizational motives with the people's values, that is the workers' values. If this is their integration happens, organizational motives plus workers' values, then there will be transactional influence. Then the SP will be positively influence his subordinates to follow BNS and make the governance system citizen centric. For this to happen, he should follow transaction influence. And when transaction influence will be possible? When the manager follows theory Y, not theory X. So the SP should govern by way of theory Y to bring any changes in the organization, to bring administrative reforms. It should be theory Y, okay, not theory X. Theory Y is what? Theory X is carrot and stick approach. You wield power, authority, command, give punishment. Theory Y is participation. There is self-direction, self-control. So people become even the lower hierarchy who killed that, under him custodial death happened. If would have been self-directed, self-motivated to implement BNS, then this would not be happened. This again builds to the relevance of transactional influence in administrative reforms in BNS. That way you can also write. Now, this incident happened. Amit Shah ji had already said we had trained 14 lakh police personnel in the BNS. But what kind of training they are giving? What training is needed? So for that, you connect with Chris Sargaris. Chris Sargaris talks about sensitive training or T group training. So sensitive training. Or T group training to bring attitudinal and behavior changes in the police personnel. So which is yes, proven method, T group training. So you train those people with sensitive training. So that way also you can connect. So this way one issue you can connect with several thinkers, several models, the custodial death or in Tamil Nadu. So this is how you can connect. Okay. So now let's move to the next topic of discussion and how we can connect it with public administration. See, what happened in Karnataka. See, Karnataka, the chief minister, unfortunately tried to slap a police personnel. Okay, so see this Siddaramaiah insulting civil servant come under public scrutiny. So this brings to light, yes, you can connect with everything that morale, motivation, as we discuss in the how it will affect the morale and motivation of the police administration. This is one thing, but also let's look into the civil servants and politician relationship. This is also part of a syllabus. The personal administration chapter talks about employer-employee relation, and also the civil services chapter in paper 2 further talks about civil service activism, civil service neutrality. Even the personal administration chapter talks about administrative ethics as well. So we will see how this is, how this incidents we can connect with those chapters and the topics of public administration. Okay. CM slapping issue. So basically, why this issue actually arises? Why there is a friction between the political class and the civil servant, the bureaucracy? See, there are, because both are totally different people, different segments both are. This is different profession. This is different profession. So let's analyze first the differences between them. See, a politician becomes a politician by way of, or becomes a chief minister MLA by way of elections. So she is elected, whereas the civil servant becomes a civil servant basis on merit based selection. Politicians in India mostly come from rural background. And politicians and civil servants are mostly like allied background only. Okay, how allied? You are highly educated, you are studied for the examination, so much knowledge you gathered, you must be a minimum graduate. Knowledge is power according to Max Weber. So you are allied, and also you work in secrecy, Max Weber. So you are allied orientation. And there are also, politician is non-permanent, you are a permanent. They from rural background, etc. Then they come among the people, they stay with the people all the time throughout their career. When they decided to become politician, they were karyakartas, etc. So they remain among the people. So they are mostly non-professional. And you are from the professional background, you are from the profession of civil services, highly, one of the most professional agency around the world, India administrative services or Indian civil services. So this is the difference. So naturally, the interaction will not be smooth. Before, just after independence, interaction was smooth because mostly the politicians were highly educated, Oxford and Cambridge educated. They also understood the nuances of administration. But now, as democracy deepened, people from the grassroots also become good politicians, but the interaction becomes frictious. So there we can say there is an overlap also between their intentions. Politician, civil servant, overlap is for public interest. Both want to work for public interest, but there are, politician also has other interests, political interest. Here, career interest, career, promotion, posting. But when these two meet, career interest and political interest, then there will be nexus and corruption. No more civil services anonymity and ministerial responsibility. No more neutrality. No more administrative ethics. So briefly, because of this background, there remains a frictious relationship between the civil servant and the politician. There were also numerous examples before, like the most famous was the differences between the finance secretary H.M. Patel and the finance minister in the Nehru's time, T.T. Krishnamachari. So Chagala Commission was constituted, and the finance secretary had to resign. Further, if you go down to 2018 or something, there the chief secretary of Delhi was slapped by the Delhi government's the party which was in power, their political MLAs, etc. They slapped the chief secretary in a meeting. So that's the frictious relationship. And now the CM of Karnataka attempt to slap a public servant also during the RCB incident also. When the RCB incident happened, the police administration morale became down, and because they claimed that we had already informed the government not to hold that IPL celebration which the RCB won instantly, but stampede happened and they removed the police commissioner and suspended a few people as well. So that way also morale is down. So this frictious relationship. So you can connect also with all these chapters. Also interestingly, ARC2 had made an recommendation in this regard for the smooth relationship between the politician and the civil servant. What ARC2 had said. See, already there is code of conduct for civil servants. So there should be a code of conduct for politicians as well. And there is code of conduct for civil servant, but no code of ethics. So there should be a code of ethics for civil servants. This is what recommendation have been made in this regard for a smooth relationship between politician and administration. Although there are certain checks like parliamentary committees, etc., but they are not much effective, or parliamentary privileges. But so this, to make a ethical governance and ethical infrastructure, there should be this. This reforms the ERC2 as suggested. So in this regard, you can write this. So that there can be integration of differences between civil servant and politician, integration of conflicts. So now who? Very Parker Fulton. Okay. So this way you connect this issue with a lot of aspects, lot of things you can connect, and this is a direct mentioned also in our syllabus, employer-employer relationship, chapter 5th or something. Personal administration, even civil services, activism, neutrality, etc. It can come. In that aspect also you can look to also administrative ethics. Okay, so now let's move to the next topic of discussion. That is the GST. So GST. So why we are discussing GST? GST recently completed 8 years. So now 8 years, lot of things must have happened and lot of lacunas too must have been found of that policy. So need to policy evaluation and policy change. Public policy chapter, entrance policy evaluation as one of its components in paper 1. So let's come to GST. Yes, GST implemented in 2017, right? Yes. One nation, one tax, one reform, big bang reform. So it was a big bang reform. From most of the indirect taxes were subsumed. So one nation, one tax. But yes, this was a big bang reform. So it was a which policy model of public policy? Rational policy making. This is rational policy making. Big bang, radical changes, rational decisions are possible as outlined by Herbert Simon. Fact-based decisions. Yes, with CCDNS also you can make more fact-based decisions. Values can be reduced in police administration as well, which will bring more efficiency in the functioning of police administration. So yes, this was a rational policy. Now 8 years happened. Now some changes are also required. Many people are saying that yes, tax expert etc. are saying that reforms are needed. You subsume some of the taxes which you have kept out of GST as of now, like the state, like the alcohol, electricity and fuel. These are outside GST, you subsume those. Also, there are a lot of slabs, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%, and on top of that, cesses and surcharges. If you rationalize more slabs, few slabs. Also, there is a discussion to eliminate the 12 or 18% slab of the GST. On top of that, there is GST compensation cess. On top of that, there are many cesses or surcharges to charge. So you rationalize all this. So now more reforms are needed. So does it require big bang reform again? No. You need incremental policy reform, incremental policy changes. So now incremental changes. So with incremental changes, with what you can relate with? The incremental models of public policy, incrementalism, Lindblom, incremental changes. First big bang, then incremental changes. See this model. This is big bang, GST, implemented in 2017. Now incremental changes are required before another big bang comes. So this is what is incrementalism. So GST in the near future will include both rational policy making and incremental policy making as well. Now which is that thinker which combines rational policy and incremental policy making both? You can write that when the question is asked on that as a relevance of this thinker. Incremental plus rational. Yes, this is punctuated equilibrium model, but one more model is there which combines both. Drawer combines extra rational factors. So in a way, it's not directly combines rational and incremental. It combines rational and extra rational factors. That is value aspects. So yes, incremental plus rational. It is the mixed scanning model. By Etzioni, where he says there are two cameras, one for broader view, one for focus view. This is the combination of rational plus incremental model of policy making. So GST, when further reforms are taken, this will be the incremental changes. So that way you can talk about GST in the sense of public policy and incrementalism. See, in the past already in public administration, question on GST has come. You open the past year papers. Now it's just a matter of time. Again, GST question will come. And there you can you don't write like GS2, GS1 or GS3. You write like public administration by connecting with these all thinkers. Okay. So hope, and yes, GST Council. There is GST Council. So GST Council, where both center and state take decision to bring changes. So there are representation also 1/3 central share and 2/3 state has the voting rights. All the state combined 2/3 and central government 1/3. So GST Council is more of a forum where what happens? Interactive influence system is at work of the linking pin model of Likert. Transaction influence happens here. Okay, and also here in the GST Council there is also integration of conflicts as outlined by Mary Parker Fullnet. This way you can connect with this also. Okay, but our country is a quasi-federal country. So how quasi-federal nature is exhibited here? To take any decision, there should be a 3/4 majority. So 75%. Here vote share is 33%. Here 66%. Now without center, how you can achieve 75%? So in a way, center has a veto right. So this also reflects our quasi-federal nature of our democracy. The union center-state relations are also mentioned in our syllabus. State government chapter, right? Center-state relations. So this also This is quasi-federal also, integration of differences also, it represents interactive influence system also, transactional influence as well. Yeah, of course, the Big Bang policy making chapter. So see, one aspect you can link with so many things. This should be a right approach rather than hundreds of examples creating confusion in the brain. Okay, so let's move to the next topic of discussion, the three language formula. Which is part of the new education policy 2020. So why we are discussing this? You must be knowing or read in the news, lot of issue happened in Maharashtra with respect to this. Again, the regionalism became on the boil because of three language formula. Now, how it is important to us? See, already questions have come on this type of happenings. Once also GST etc. Yes, one similar topic was asked in some years. So even directly they can ask about the three language issue or new education policy, significant issues in Indian administration. That is a topic mentioned in your syllabus. That is a chapter. So in that they can relate. Now, yes, if comes, you write whatever you want to write, but this is public administration, not GST. So of course, this is a federal issue. Now education comes under concurrent list. Concurrent list, there should be discussion with both the players, the states and the center. Then policy should have been formulated. Punchi Commission, yes, very important committee, had outlined that whatever they should delegate all the concurrent subjects to the states and keep only essential towards the center. So let education be formulated by the states. This was one aspect. You can relate with the Punchi Commission. Also, you can relate with the federalism and federal aspects and quasi-federal nature as well. But what should be done to ensure that these differences doesn't come? First, of course, there should be a forum like GST Council. You can revive the interstate council to debate the federal aspects with the states, which can become a forum to integrating differences as outlined by Mary Parker Fullett. And you can also connect with linking pin model, interactive influence system, transactional influence. That way you connect this issue with the various aspects of public administration. Okay. Yes, let's move. Last thing, best thing I have saved to the last. Let's move to the next topic of our discussion, the Telangana model of development. The Telangana model of development. Now, what is this Telangana model of development? Let's hear from the mouth of the Chief Minister of Telangana himself. Hope it is audible. Let it buffer and we'll play. Here is the Telangana model of development.
है ही नहीं, तब मोदी जी खुद गुजरात के लिए फाइट करना पड़ता, क्योंकि मोदी जी इस देश this 3 or 4 area.
We'll skip the political part and we'll take to the Telangana model.
And good governance. These 3. प्रधानमंत्री देश बाहर कोने कोने में जो भी इन्वेस्टमेंट आना है उसके लिए कोई मदद नहीं दे रहा, खाली कोई भी हिंदुस्तान को आए तो जाओ जाके गुजरात में इन्वेस्टमेंट कर दो, ये कौन सी तरीका है? So what is the difference between your Telangana model? Yes, my model is development and welfare and
So you heard from the mouth of the Chief Minister himself. What is the Telangana model of development? He says Telangana model of development is combination of three elements: development plus welfare plus good governance. This is Telangana model of development. Now, how it is important to us? Obviously, you must be seen or heard. He's talking about good governance. Good governance is already mentioned in the syllabus, and one of the criticism of good governance was it is creates a shell of democracy. That is, good governance models were formulated by the West, and we are implementing. But we have modified also Telangana model of government. So it is an indigenous model of development. That is one thing you can connect with indigenous model of good governance, like the Modi model of governance. When Modi ji says good governance is an art, accountability, responsibility, and transparency. So this is one aspect, and also there is a chapter in your syllabus called development dynamics. Development dynamics. So in this chapter also it mentions concept of development, changing profile of development, models of development. And this is one model, Telangana model of development. You can give examples. Do you think this model is very new? If you have read that chapter properly, you would have related this Telangana model of development with one of the models. It's written in standard books. From that this model has come. Standard books, it's written that particular model has been mentioned. This is the pragmatic neoliberal model. Pragmatic neoliberal model. This is a part of pragmatic neoliberal model outlined by World Bank. This is nothing but Telangana model of development now. See, what is this pragmatic neoliberal model of development? See, when development discourse happened after the World War II, when many countries got independence, including India, Western countries, Western nations started thronging the developing world to develop them. Western model of development, the trickle-down theory, it all failed. Then came the anti-development thesis, which rejected the development altogether by Goldman Sachs, not Goldman Sachs, yes, Wolfgang, Sachs and Escobar gave the anti-development thesis. So it was considered the development is now ruthless and futureless. So these aspects of development were analyzed by World Bank, and World Bank gave their new model, the pragmatic neoliberal model of development. See, what is pragmatic neoliberal model of development? I will explain from this diagram itself. See, there are four components. Pragmatic neoliberal model of development, human capital, economic prosperity, rule of law, and rehab of state. So this is a pragmatic neoliberal model of development given by World Bank. This is pragmatic neoliberal, human capital, you develop human resource, etc. Welfare of the people, economic prosperity, development from economic perspective, roads, bridges, infrastructure, etc. Then rule of law, there should be rule of law, peace, law and order, and there should be rehab of the state, not a rejection of the state, like how the NPM, etc., or rolling back of the state, how the public choice approach rolled back the state, question the relevance of the state. This is pragmatic neoliberal model of development, and this is what Telangana model of development is. So let's fit these three components in this Telangana model of development. What the Chief Minister said: development plus welfare plus good governance. So good governance you fix here, rehab of the state and rule of law, good governance. Even good governance can come here. Human capital, of course, welfare, and economic prosperity means development. So basically we have fitted the entire Telangana model of development in the new liberal model of development. This is good governance, what the Chief Minister said. This is welfare, human capital, and development, economic prosperity. This is basically what the Telangana model of development is. Now, yes, of course, World Bank also further outlined that you can this development incorporates what? Social justice plus NPM plus traditional public administration. So this is incorporated in this social justice, new public management, and traditional public administration, rule of law, rehab of the state, Weber, NPM, economic prosperity, human capital, managerial expertise is required, and social justice by welfare of the people. So this is in a way summation of all this model. The Chief Minister of Telangana outlines this is what is Telangana model of development. So this you can give examples also in your chapter of development dynamics. So there was Kerala model of development, there is now Gujarat the model of development, and now Telangana model of development. So this way how you can enrich your answers in public administration. We will be continuing this series. Hope this session was very helpful for you. See, public administration is difficult not because the syllabus or the paper are difficult. It's not difficult at all. If you write these aspects in your answers, which many people we find lacking. Yeah, most of the people run behind different things which are not required to clear this examination. You limit your sources, limit your books, think more, analyze from this current affairs, and hope these sessions you find it helpful. We will be continuing this. As said earlier, handouts too will be available on our social media and our internet, on our website, etc. Okay, then hope this session was helpful. Then, like always, happy learning and keep studying, keep working hard. Okay, then thank you very much.